Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Popcast. Whether you're listening to this live or VOD, Twitch or YouTube, Spotify. Whether you are unfortunately just missing out on getting your golden trophy in Big Run, like myself, I got 150. You play Big Run? He hasn't touched it in months. Okay.
Everyone else is fine. At least you got some.
Yeah. We appreciate you taking your time out of the day to listen to this. But we don't want to say unless we don't. We always appreciate you guys. But hey, so this is like a bonus, not a bonus episode, but obviously a special episode of the Popcast. We are not Popgun. Neither of us are Popgun. As you have noticed, Popgun has kind of been on a with a few guest appearances there. But I am Falco, and she is Mizuno. And we are your guest hosts today for the Popcast, and we are very excited to be here. I think, other than maybe Miss Popgun being featured on Popgun's actual screen, this is the first time that two people in person have ever hosted a podcast. So we are happy that we're here. We're happy that you guys are here today. So news. Those of you who are interested, you are casual listener of the Popcast. So Ludi signups, everything has kind of been announced since the speed ladder has happened. Which, by the way, that was a really cool event that they could put on. Speed ladder is a great event. So Ludi signups are officially a go, and the season is going to start on, I believe, Monday, October 2nd. Yes, so make sure you guys sign up. It's really cool that we're having Ludi this time around. But make sure you guys are actually like paying attention to the schedule, because the end date is before Christmas, but after Thanksgiving. And if you paid attention, there is no set break time. So if you're in North America, you are still playing on your Thanksgiving weekend, just to be aware of that. Schedule accordingly. You could be doing what I did last season, which is always forcing your opponents to play at default time, because that's what works for you. To be selfish that way, because default time is there for a reason. So that's what we did. We always banked on it. Your team going to play in Ludi?
Likely yes.
Most likely yes. Perfect.
Most likely. That's the current verdict.
Cool. Need to lower noise gate. A little tricky sometimes here. Yeah, Mike's cutting in and out. Exactly. I need to lower this gate. We have a filter on, so maybe this will help potentially. I think it'll be a little better.
I hope so.
We hope so. Okay, so other news, you guys probably saw, or it was announced that Big House is not happening anymore for Splatoon. There's going to be no more Splatoon at Big House, which is unfortunate. You know, I feel like that was always kind of like the sweaty tournament that people would participate in, but you know, I think from the start there were kind of a lot of behind the scenes issues that like I know we as like the spectators don't really know, but it was just tricky to get things situated. I've heard the venue is difficult to work with making sure everything kind of gets set up, and you know, kind of had everything set up properly. We already knew there wasn't really going to be a stream in the first place, so that may have been red flag number one, that it would have been difficult to work with, but that's unfortunate. You know, if you have any questions about that, definitely reach out in the Splatlands help desk. Get a hold of Magic. He's one of the head TOs, and he can get you situated on if you need anything to get your money back. And there was also an announcement that if you were planning on going to Big House but not Riptide, you might have the opportunity to go to Riptide, I guess, in place of Big House. Again, I don't want to put words in Magic's mouth, even though he is here. Hi, Magic. But yeah, get in touch with him if there's anything that you need regarding that information. So we were going to drive up together, actually. We planned on driving up on Friday for Big House, since we live so close to each other. But, you know, it is what it is. But you're going to see us at Riptide on probably me Thursday. You're still up in the air.
I'm still up in the air, but definitely Friday for sure. You can catch me all there.
Cool. We're looking forward to it. Looking forward to it a lot. Today on the Popcast, we are talking all things Riptide, all things between the venue and the actual event too. We're going to be previewing some of the teams, previewing some of the players, talking about what to expect, especially if this is your first time at Atlan. But first,
That was very dramatic.
do you have your beverage?
Propel.
Okay. But first, the NA Championships. This is not Mountain Dew. This is Kirkland sparkling water.
Probably
Lime.
from Costco.
How'd you know?
It's Kirkland.
Yeah. We are going to be previewing the Nintendo Championships, North American Championships, that are happening today, 5 hours from now. This is why we are going live at this time. Because I don't know who would watch the podcast during that broadcast. I know you guys are loyal fans and you love Mizuno and I, but we want you to pay attention to that broadcast too. It's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, we are going to be talking about the top 4 teams that are going to be playing. Of course, that is Starburst, Jackpot, Crush Soda, and Duck Gang. All really fun teams that have been, I mean, I don't want to say have been like just popping off lately. Like, a few of them obviously have always been popping off, but I think there's a lot more to compare with these teams this time around, rather than just having Starburst be your ultimate favorite champion, because we've seen there is competition. There was competition during the qualifiers when Starburst played a Jackpot in the first qualifiers, that game going to a game 5. So like, it's not just handed to Starburst this time around. There's I think everybody is in this fight, and so Mizuno and I, we're going to be talking about the 4 teams a little more in depth and kind of what to expect from them. And we'll start off with Starburst. So it's interesting because Starburst, during the qualifiers, they had a sub. That sub's name is Kyo. We all know who Kyo is. Kyo used to play on Crush Soda, played on FT Win prior to that too, but I believe it was Biscuit who couldn't make the qualifiers at that time, so then they had Kyo sub in. And that's exactly what happened. They easily got to the top 16. They 3-0'd their 2 opponents in the top 16, In Control Red Sun and Hypnosis. And then during the top 4 is when things got a little bit dicey. Kyo was still playing at this time because it was a day 2. I don't think they had Biscuit sub. Biscuit may have played in day 1. I don't even know.
I don't recall.
Yeah, I don't recall either. But that first game, that first set, literally the first set on stream was Jackpot versus Starburst, which you would expect kind of a grand finals caliber match, but just based on how the seeding works, kind of weird, a little funky. But yeah, Starburst won in a game 5 to move on to the finals, which was a play-in game to win, and then they beat Last Resort 3-1 to be the first team to qualify. So what can you tell us about Jackpot?
I mean, everyone knows Jackpot as one of the top teams in the community right now. They are kind of destined, one of the destination spots to be at. Just to rehash again from the first qualifier, before starting in that first qualifier, they were the victor in the Ink TV Resurgence League, which is a huge deal because that helps set up the stage for their historic matches in here for the NA Championships, NA Top 4. Jackpot was able to secure that number 1 seed in the latter portion of the Nintendo qualifier, and they just completely swept through the top 16 like it was no big deal. So clearly, again, establishing their caliber and their dominance early on in the event. And then, like we talked about with Starburst, they had to face them pretty early on in a weird, awkward seeding matchup there, and taking it all the way to game 5, having to fight through loser's bracket to get to the rematch live. And honestly, I think this is going to be the matchup between Starburst and Jackpot is probably going to be the one for the books. I think that is by far the most sought out for, the most highly anticipated match, and for good reason, because of the just historical matchup and the caliber that these 2 teams have. This is probably going to be the one to watch out for later today.
Yeah, and I don't even know the order when the teams play. I would imagine it's going to be Starburst versus Duck Gang first, because Starburst won the first qualifier and Duck Gang got the second position in the second qualifier.
Correct.
I would imagine that's how they're going to start. But
a 1-2 situation.
Yeah, but I have no idea. We'll be curious to see. But yeah, speaking of which, next is a Duck Gang, where I mean they like barely squeezed in here. They actually played in both of the qualifiers, and were in the top 4 both times. You know, that one has Zero, Enry, Drift T, and Red Shell. Well, not the Zero set to destroy X Zero, but Zero S. I don't know. OS. I don't really know what their name is, but it's just OS, whatever. But yeah, in the top 16, they 3-0 Triggerfish Zone Supremacy, and then 3-2'd DNA. So again, going to a game 5 prior to the top 4, just barely making it in there. And then in the first round of the top 4, they faced Last Resort in the first qualifier, lost 2-3, again going to a game 5, and then unfortunately for them going down to Jackpot 1-3. So I mean, the good news is you play, and you could, if you want to play in the first qualifier, that way you do have a second opportunity. And did they need that second opportunity? Because that is what got them in here, into the top 4. So again, they had the same roster. I think they had Zenith sub for Enry during the second qualifier. But again, in the top 16, they didn't have an easy route because they barely beat Set to Destroy X going to a game 5, and then 3-0'd Paragon. So in the top 4, they lost first round to Crush Soda 0-3. Yeah. I think they had some unfortunate DCs. There were a few DCs during that broadcast, during the second one. And in Nintendo, if you have a DC, you snooze, you lose. You know. The only DCs that warrant a restart are lobby disconnects, but if the game literally starts and then somebody DCs a second later, it's going to count, and it is what it is. But yeah, they lost Crush Soda 3-0. They beat Sonder 3-1 then to put them into the losers finals, and then beat In Control Red Sun 3-1. So again, not an easy route for Duck Gang, and I think they are the team who is probably the least favored out of the 4.
Agreed.
So they have the largest uphill battle to climb if they want to make it. And thank you, Beth. Turf 4 matches are first. Starburst, Duck Gang, then Crush Soda, Jackpot. Okay. Yeah, okay. That's good to know. And yeah, we have one more team, Crush Soda.
Yeah, you mentioned them in their bout against Duck Gang. Another high caliber team. This is Kyo's team that he has participated in. The roster consists of Twig, Wave, Taco, Wally, Goss, and Thunder. So really well-known players in this community, high caliber. I'm going to keep saying that because it's so true. It's so relevant here. They also had a fairly decent route heading into their qualifier, and this is where, again, they're demonstrating their dominance in the top 4 from the qualifier in the first place. They were able to, like Falco mentioned, clean sweep Duck Gang fairly easily, and also they were able to 3-0 versus Red Sun. So really good matches in there to solidify their position in the top 4 from that qualifier. And I mean, this is where we're going to be looking at, they'll be looking to take on Duck Gang one more time. And this is where, all right, is Duck Gang able to hold them off and actually be able to take a game? Are they able to be a little bit better this time? Or is Crush Soda just going to continue to assert their dominance and move on to their bigger battles in the day? So this is where, again, like, these are just such high caliber teams, and even with Duck Gang being the least favorite of the 4, I think these are still going to be highly competitive matches, and it's going to be really hard to determine who will just take it all. There's no outright winner here that we could just say, oh, they're going to win the whole thing, and that's that. I think this will be highly contested.
Yeah, I agree. And I believe all the sets are going to be best of 5 as well, which good. I mean, you could have Grands be a best of 7 at that point. It doesn't really matter. I'm just glad none are a best of 3 for these. And and I'm not counting anything for the Turf War qualifying seeding. I don't think the seeding of this matters at all.
I don't think so.
It would be unfortunate to have Jackpot and Starburst play each other in the first round, but it is what it is. You can say whatever you want about kind of how the counter picks work and stuff, but I will admit we have been spoiled in North America with how we have been presented with these qualifiers and championships, unlike other regions. Because some of them will get a 2 weeks heads up, hey, the championship is at this land that is just announced, go, and everybody's kind of scrambling to find their teams. But we've known about these events well ahead of time. I think it was even back in like April when the June qualifiers were, and then it was announced, even then that okay, the championships will be at PAX in early September. So these 4 teams, they've had over 2 months to kind of practice and get themselves situated, and have known kind of the format all along too. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm jealous of a few of you. Like Ahmed, I know you're in Seattle right now. Like you're going to be at the event, I'm pretty sure, and a few of my other friends. And I know Nine, Mel, and Jordan and Zach. They're going to have a great time too because it's such a cool opportunity. I know all of them have done it before. They do a fantastic job, especially Zach. Zach on the analyst,
For sure.
Analyst like tablet thing. I don't know, like it was so amazing, and I think he did a better job than any of us combined could have done, because just that role. There's really no. I'm thinking of like a Steve Kornacki type of person. You know what I mean?
They're not gonna know who that is.
Okay, but you do though.
Yes, I do.
Okay, but like who does like a lot of like Sunday Night Football like predictions and even election stuff, but like does a really good job with kind of like navigating like here's what we need to look out for and like just circle the key points and highlight what needs to be highlighted. So again, it's going to be a lot of fun. Who's going to come out on top? I have no idea. A lot of you guys think Jackpot, which I think is very like a good a good assumption too. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens, especially since a few of these teams aren't really as favored, like Ducking and Crush Soda. But what I do like, there is just a lot more built up to this event than any other qualifiers we had, and I think a lot of that goes to kind of what we saw at the Ink TV Resurgence League.
Agreed.
And how Starburst went down to Jackpot pretty early on in the top 4 of that tournament as well. So gonna be a lot of fun. We'll be watching it. I'll probably be at my parents' house then, but I'll still I'll still be watching it.
You'll still tune in.
I'll still tune in. Exactly. But it is time for the weekly recap. I love power numbers. There. We gotta hustle through these, do we? There was no SOS this week, being the last week of the month in August, so no SOS. Elemental had, I think, his kill streak tournament. He always hosts something on Wednesdays that SOS isn't going on, but I don't have the results for that. But Proving Grounds 20 did happen on Friday night. I had the pleasure of commentating that with K-Bot for Block 1. That was won by Carrying Pulp. They 3-1 in a bracket reset, I believe. That consists of Boopy, Pom Pom, Haya, and ASCII, and Blamo got second, consisting of Taro, Soup, Maiko, and Cactus Shot. Yeah, forced a bracket reset in the top 4, which I think is pretty rare in Proving Grounds, so that one ended a little late. Third place goes to Toady Squad, Toady, Dangit, Haru, Kesar, and Dennis. Yes, taking third in bronze. Do you want to read Minnow Cup?
Let's do it. Middle Cup 24. This time was Splat Zones edition. First place we have Josu.
Josu.
Josu. These Japanese names. Josu Liquors Original 3-0 with the roster being Aryu, Sora, Mujika, and Matcha. Then we also have Surf and Turf and T7 following up after that in their respective brackets. I believe so.
Yep. Yeah, second and third. Second
and
third. And we also had the speed ladder yesterday that happened earlier, in the afternoon. Moonlight getting the most wins. Nightmare and Sway, I guess we're the same team. And then She's Giving Leg and Black Lotus tied for third. Can I do this? How long do I have to wait? Okay, I'll wrap up soon. I'm just gonna take some more.
You can clearly see how
experienced we are. Yeah.
Clearly, we are meant to be close.
And that was your weekly recap, brought to you by my dog Wendy, who is sitting in her bed. Come here, girl. Who wants to be in the know of everything going on, all things streaming-wise. So yeah, she's our sponsor for the weekly recap. She's going to go to my parents' house later. So I want to talk about, though, the real winners for the speed ladder. because they have results here. You know, Moonlight, sure, they won Speed Ladder, but the real winner for Speed Ladder is everybody who participated, because these are results that will help the Ludi Seating Council, and you are doing them a big favor by playing in these rapid fire matches, getting results. It's great practice for you two just to have the results, and I think it's wonderful that it was able to happen. Again, Ludi signups already started, so make sure that you get your team signed up. All right, let's go to our main topic today. So Mizuno, what are you doing this weekend?
I'm doing one thing only.
What's that?
And that is going up to Sandusky, Ohio.
Yeah?
And playing in Riptide 2023. It is finally here.
What is Riptide?
Oh my gosh, well, it is like the best LAN ever. It is one of the few Splatoon-specific LAN tournaments that we have, hosted by the great folks over at IPL. And this weekend it will be a 3-day-long excursion of all things Splatoon. And other events too. There's also Smash and, you know, like Rivals of Aether. But we're not here for that. No. We're not here for that. We're here for one thing only, and that is Splatoon.
That is correct, and this will be the largest Splatoon LAN, I think, in North America so far.
I believe so. It surpassed LTC. There are, I think, about 60 or so teams that signed up. Like, there are a ton of teams who signed up, and it is going to be really, really amazing and a lot of fun. But for a lot of you guys, this might be your first time going to a LAN. You might be thinking, okay, I'm going to go play Splatoon in person with a bunch of people who I know or don't know online. What else can I expect? What can I do over these 3 days? How is this going to work? What can I expect for Riptide? So, to start off, registration is already closed. So if you're thinking like, wow, I want to go, you can go to Spectate. If you can manage to get to Sandusky, Ohio, which is about an hour west of Cleveland, you can fly into there, go to Riptide, and buy a spectator pass. So it's definitely worth it just for that. I've done that for LTC and Big House. So yeah, you if you're still thinking like, oh, I can actually manage to go to Sandusky, definitely do it. But yeah, it's gonna be fun, but I'll start with like kind of the traveling in process too. A lot of people will be flying into Cleveland. Again, that is the closest airport. It's a little unfortunate that it's about an hour-ish away, 45 minutes maybe. I'd say 45.
45, yeah. And you know, the good news is that you are able to buy a bus pass that can transport you, a shuttle pass, from the airport to the venue. The best part about the shuttle pass, it is $50, and it is a 2-way ride, so it's like well worth the money. You could not get a cheaper ride other than maybe a friend picking you up or something like that from the airport. Hi, Luna. And then, like, because if you're going to Uber one way or another, you're going to be spending upwards of $100 for that entire trip. So I think you technically still can buy the bus pass. I don't know for sure, but it was on the Start GG signups, and I know you can edit your and like modify your registration, and I still think you can do that. So definitely do that if you're thinking I don't have a ride yet. Could completely vouch for getting the shuttle, even though I've never done it since I have a car and I live 3 hours away. But you do too. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's applicable. Like,
Yeah.
there's shuttles like that. I've been on, like, shuttles like this before myself, and, like, this is, like, a steal. Like, this is something that I would pick up.
Yeah.
Like, this is a steal.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, if this shuttle existed when we go to LTC, I would have 100% gotten it, because Ubers and stuff, they're easier to get there, but the airport was still about 30 minutes a drive. But luckily I had Mr. Popcom himself chauffeur me around, so yeah, I didn't really need to do that, but still, well worth it to buy the bus pass if you are traveling in. So let's talk about the resort a little bit, because, you know, we talk a lot about like how cool the Kalahari is, but for a lot of you guys, you've never been to a Kalahari. There are only 4 of them in the United States. Riptide being in Sandusky, Low Tide City being in Round Rock, Texas, which is basically Austin.
Mm-hmm.
You have one in the Wisconsin Dells, which is about a 45-minute drive from Madison, Wisconsin, and then the I think the Pocono, somewhere in Pennsylvania, Poconos or something like that. I don't know. It's like a mountain resort type of place, but I don't know anybody who's been to that one before. Pocono Mountain. Thank you. So a lot of people probably have not been to a Kalahari before, and they are pretty dang cool.
Yeah.
Like, even from the outside, and then looking in, they're like, it's a giant hotel that's basically, it has an indoor water park attached to it, but the entire lobby, is kind of, set up like tropical island theme. And there's a lot to do inside the hotel that's not just the water park. Obviously, we will be busy like playing Splatoon and playing in a LAN, but there's still going to be a lot of free time if you're not playing in a LAN. Again, the water park is automatically included with your hotel pass. You're going to get a little wristband that you can access like your room, the water park, all that good stuff. And there's a lot of shops and stuff too in the hotel. Quick and easy restaurants if you just need a bite to eat, and the arcade. You're a big arcade person.
Oh yeah.
Did you go to the arcade last year at Riptide?
I think once, like I stopped by.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's there's a lot going on pretty much the entire time, and so I encourage you, if you're not in the venue and you just have a little bit of time to walk around and be exploring, definitely do things with your friends. Hit up the water park. Which, by the way, pack your swimsuit if you haven't done that. I haven't started packing. Did you start packing yet?
No, I'm not packing till like Thursday night.
No, we're going to go over the packing list too, by the way.
Oh, yes. That's
here
very
on the stream. Yes, absolutely. But yeah, lots of stuff to do. You're going to get so many steps in. I was wearing my Apple Watch pretty much the whole time, and I think each day had like 18 to 20,000 steps.
That sounds about right.
Just from walking around. Because going to and from the venue, which we're going to talk about shortly, it's quite a walk.
Quite a trek. If you get unlucky with the room lottery, it's like a venture, like the whole trip. You're trekking through the Kalahari.
Yeah, no, for real though. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about the venue. So the venue itself is going to be in the convention center side of things, which again is kind of off to the side, but still inside the Kalahari. Each time you go in and out of the venue, you're going to have your badge. They're going to check your bags if you're bringing a bag in. I believe you can bring a sealed water bottle, or a plastic bottle that you can refill whenever you walk inside, just because of there's water fountains and stuff there. And just remember, you still have to wear face masks, at least for the Splatoon side, the Splatoon room. I'm not sure about Smash. I know at Low Tide, they weren't really policing it in the Smash rooms, but Splatoon they were. So make sure you have that packed as well. But it's going to be really cool because there's going to be different areas that you can kind of go to. There's going to be a merch room, and it's going to be just kind of this giant room with a bunch of merch tables set up. That's always really fun to walk around and pick up a few things. I have you can't really see them over there, but I have a lot of my my badges or my my lanyard. I could not think of words. I'm gonna get it real quick.
Yeah, go grab them. I think that'll be nice to show off.
Yeah. Okay, two of them fell.
That's fine.
And the pen fell too. That's fine. Merch reveal, yeah. So this was my lanyard last year. What's pretty cool is you can get your name on it too. You can do that by customizing it on StartGG. I believe. Again, you might still be able to customize.
I think you have to purchase it as a separate thing. So like when you purchase your badge, you get the competitor's badge, and then there's a customized version where you input your name. So I'm not sure if you can add that on at this point, but I would recommend looking at StartGG. That'll be your best bet. Yeah.
But like I got this little junior keychain from a lovely artist who was there. Really cool. And I got a T-Tech as well. And then I got this from Luna, which, by the way, she's going to be having a few things there, so make sure to reach out to her if you want to bring something, if you want to get something. But there's going to be a merch room. The Smash room is ginormous. Like, it is huge. There's going to be there were 3 stages set up last time. I think there was like a main stage and 2 off to the side, and even if you're not a Smash player like me, I don't even care for Smash.
No, I could not tell you a thing about competitive Smash.
No, I couldn't either, but it's so fun to be there for like the hype moments. And like I assume Smash is going to end later than Splatoon will. So kind of like that 8 to 10 p.m. on Sunday night when Smash Ultimate and Melee are in like their top 4, top 8, whatever. That's fun to just be in the atmosphere for. I think that's kind of the main takeaway is like the atmosphere that you're going to see at this venue is unlike anything that you have seen before if you've never been to a LAN. And even if you have, this will probably be the biggest one that you will go to. So it's going to be amazing. But the Splatoon venue room, again, I don't really know how it's going to be set up. We're not TOs. I've, chatted with them, and they, I didn't really ask them about it either, but just based on last year and how LTC is set up, there's just going to be a bunch of tables set up, and they're going to have 8 monitors each, 4 and 4. You sit on one side, your opponents sit on the other side, and there's also going to be a main stage where the matches that are streamed, the players will be on that stage, and everybody can watch it too. There's going to be a giant monitor, so you can see the live stream as it happens too, and that's always fun to just kind of poke your head in and see who's doing well. But having our own room, I think, is really nice too. It is really nice just because it's not as crowded, it's not as loud. There's just kind of a lot that's going on, but it's a really good time. So, trying to think what else.
I think we should talk about also food options in the area. I think that's often a point of interest.
Oh my god, yeah.
One thing to note, Falco mentioned is when you enter the venue itself to, play Splatoon or go check out Smash or whatever with your competitor's badge, you're able to bring in a plastic water bottle or like a hydro flask or whatever. However, one thing, very important thing to note is that you unfortunately cannot bring outside food that is not from the venue into the venue. So like if you want to pick up like a sandwich from Culver's or something and bring that into the venue, you unfortunately cannot. They do not allow it, which is a little sad as someone who likes to eat a lot of food and like constantly snacking. It's like a long day. So there's a couple of options where they have some like small almost like at like theme parks where like you can go to like a little booth almost and purchase like snacks, sandwiches, other types of drinks, little desserts, stuff like that just to hold you over. But there are some restaurants about 5 minutes away from the venue and from the Kalahari Resort that you can also visit to carpool with some folks around in the venue to go grab some food, because with peace and love, you need to stay fueled up during this thing. Like, with all the walking, like the mental energy you'll be dispersing throughout the whole weekend, it's actually really important to fuel up. So even taking a little bit of extra time to go get more food, I think is really important.
Yeah, and that being said, even if you don't have a car, there is a shuttle within Sandusky.
Yes.
I know a few people used it last year, especially for our Best Buy not tailgate. The tailgate was successful. The actual Best Buy experience was not successful.
Foul.
Yeah, that was awful. But there is a shuttle, a bus that takes you right from the Kalahari to anywhere in Sandusky. And even if you're getting off at like Walmart or Meijer, which Meier's a grocery store up there, you can easily walk to any of the food places that are close by. So I would highly recommend doing that, and it's only like $1.50 one way. You and a few friends just go to Five Guys or something. I love Five Guys. I don't know. Yeah. Just go wherever. There are a lot of food options, but a lot of the food options are kind of fast food. I don't know what healthy options there are. But that being said, I kind of the segue into the next point of like how to save money too is by buying things at the grocery store ahead of time. Mizuna kind of touched up on this a little bit.
Yeah, I recommend that as well. There's a Walmart, there's a Meijer within 5 minutes of the Kalahari Resort that you can go visit to pick up some snacks. I did that last year with like Cliff Bars, yogurt, something to have in the morning before I go to the venue, for example. Yeah,
and I would highly recommend, especially like something for breakfast too. Whether it's like granola bars, protein bars, you don't want to be hangry or spend $12 on like a small breakfast burrito and a lukewarm coffee from the from their Java Hut place thing. I don't know. I still make fun of Saf because she spent $10 on chai lattes every day at LTC, but that was her decision.
No, oh, that's such a shame.
Yeah, but hey, you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. But yeah, definitely prepare ahead of time if you can, and just buy things not at the venue. That's really the main takeaway. But speaking of preparing, we are going to go over a few things that you guys can do to help you with your experience at Riptide, starting with some of these packing items here. So I laid out this list a while ago. Might be a little hard to read still, so I apologize. But we'll start with the clothing here. Like I'm in total data mode when I do this, by the way, just so you know. You're probably going to be there for 2 to 4 days. Pack clothes every day that you're there. Zoom in a little more. Also, I can't see chat, so behave. Again, pajamas, a jacket. We looked at the weather for Riptide. The high for Riptide is 73.
Wait, already?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm excited though. Like, no, that's good.
Wait, that's like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Oh, praise be.
It's freaking hot today here. We're
like scalding.
Yeah, we're in southern Ohio, and it's like 90, like approaching 95 today or something like that. It's really hot, but I think I looked at this on stream this morning, but I think the high for Thursday, I'm not really counting Thursday. Thursday's like 78, but high for Friday is 72, and then Saturday's like 68. So we're getting good weather. But yeah, I understand that is probably a little cold for a few of you, especially if you're coming from the south. So make sure you pack a light sweater if you think you'll need it, because you'll probably be outside from time to time, whether you're going out to eat or hanging out just afterwards doing whatever, hanging out with all the Smash people on the bridge. Personal items, obviously your phone and charger. You're going to want your phone. Make sure, actually this headset you don't really need, but more of just headphones. I'd imagine you want to have your own personal headphones, and these are separate from what you'll be using during the actual LAN, but obviously, just your own stuff. An empty water bottle, highly recommend that, so you're not buying the $3 water bottles at the Kalahari. Snacks, definitely buy snacks. We talked about this already. I already packed like beef jerky and stuff. Like I've got protein and peanut butter crackers, all that good stuff. And then your wallet with cash and card. Some merchants will likely be card only. I don't think any will be cash only, but
correct.
Yeah,
I think most places are now card only.
Just card only. Yeah, exactly. So we'll move over here to the top right of the screen. Your toiletries, please bring these. If you don't, I might drive you to Walmart so you can pick some up. But pack a toothbrush, pack some toothpaste. Please pack deodorant. There's gonna be a lot of people there. We're gamers. Please do your job.
I actually recommend, you can get this at Walmart or Target or any other, big box chain store. But there are many. If you go to like the travel toiletry aisles, there are many deodorants. I have a full-size deodorant in my bag personally, but if you want to grab a small travel bag for not only just for personal use, like when you're getting ready for the day, but also to have with you at the venue, I also recommend that as well, because I mean you're out all day. It's kind of a whole bit. Like I recommend it.
Yeah, 100%. Shampoo, body wash will be at the hotel, just in the shower. Medication and any other things you may need to pack. But again, you guys are adults, most of you, so do your thing. Now the most important stuff regarding the venue. These are things that you need to bring. Your ID or passport. Again, most people probably have a driver's license. You still need a form of ID to pick up your badge. If you do not have a form of ID, you cannot retrieve this. So you will need to get an ID. If you're traveling internationally, make sure you have your passport. Other documents that you may need. Your COVID vaccination card. It can be a digital copy. You can take a picture of your physical card and show the picture to the people. That is completely okay, as long as your name matches what is on your legal ID. So yes, you do not need your physical COVID vaccination card. You need a picture.
Do they enforce having both the front and the back image? Yeah.
I don't. What's on the back?
So, at least for me, this might be relatable to a lot of college students or younger folks. For a lot of us, if we got our COVID vaccines at university, we would have on the back, if you had multiple shots, if you had more than 2 boosters, you could have it in the back as well.
So I don't think that's required because fully vaccinated is considered 2 shots. So
okay, got it.
that's the minimum for what they're checking for. So yeah, I don't think they enforce the back, but that's a good point to bring up. I didn't know that. So yep, a picture of just the front should be fine. So with that, face masks are still required inside the Splatoon room. Again, I don't know about Smash. It doesn't matter. Just if you're in the venue, wear your mask. Easy. Just easy rule to follow. But they're not required outside of the venue, like walking around the hotel. So just make sure you have it on, and bring multiple masks too, because they can get kind of stinky and gross if you only have one. So
I recommend the disposable ones because of that point.
Yeah,
and it's easier. Like, when you enter the venue, put a new one on. You exit the venue, you could take it off, throw it away, and then put on a new one as well.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Next is your backpack. You're gonna want a backpack to bring your Switch and your controller. You don't want to just hold it like this the whole time. You want to make sure that you have it. And again, your backpack will be checked every time you go in and out of the venue. It's pretty quick and seamless. Like, sometimes the line is pretty long, but they're pretty quick about it. They're efficient.
Yeah. I would recommend, like, as you're approaching the line, depending on the type of bag, opening up your zippers, like the main pockets, the side pockets, and like the little pouches. I know that helps them quickly peer in and take a look instead of you trying to like hurriedly open things up and like holding up the line. So you could just be a little bit more proactive and just
absolutely
open it up in advance. It'll be a quick check. It takes like 15 seconds if you do that, and it makes both your life and security's life a lot easier.
Yeah, absolutely. The more you can do to help them, the better for everybody as well. So bring your Switch. You need it to play. Obviously, you guys know that. Along with your Pro Controller or Joy-Cons. I don't think many people use Joy-Cons. Some do, but 99% of people there are going to be using Pro Controllers. As far as I know, and I don't know for sure, I don't know if there's anybody who plans on playing on a Switch Lite. I haven't seen that in help desk. Normally, there's at least like one person who asks about it. If you can avoid it, that's better. Again, you won't be on, I don't think you'll be on stream if you have a Switch Lite anyways, because it's too hard to set up. So but that's something to consider. If you are able to get a new a different Switch, it might make things easier, but I know that's not always practical. Make sure you bring your copy of Splatoon 3. You're going to need it because obviously we are playing the game. A lot of people here probably have physical copies of the game, but make sure you have the card, and then if you have a digital copy, you should be good for that. Bring your charger as well. A few things here are a little bit not required anymore because according to Kraken, they have all the AC adapters, Ethernet adapters, and switch docks provided from a third-party company. And this was announced like 3 days ago, so you don't need to bring these. It obviously helps if you have your own. First of all, bring your own Switch charger. You should still bring that regardless. You don't need an Ethernet adapter. You could bring a Switch dock just to have as an extra one, or if you're going to play in your room. If I recall, it was hard to hook up HDMI.
I heard some people had trouble with that too.
Yeah, because they were wedged so far back that you couldn't even fit an HDMI cable anywhere or something. I don't know, but if you want to bring in that, you can. And then another thing that's optional but really important, there's going to be a lot of posters and signing at Riptide. Bring a black, silver, or gold Sharpie because you want to sign posters. You want people to sign your poster. It's a lot of fun. Again, those are pretty cheap at the store if you don't have them. A few more things to go over, just tips from Falco, we'll say. I can't zoom in anymore, that's fine. So Mizuno and I touched up that the food is going to be pretty expensive at the Kalahari. If you can eat out, that is going to be ideal because it's going to be, it's going to be really pricey. So if you have a friend with a car and they're organizing, hey, let's go to, I almost said Fazoli's. Don't go to Fazoli's. Fazoli's is gross. Um, go to the Brick Oven Bistro. That's a good pizza place in Sandusky. That place is good. But yeah, and then also that's nice for kind of your snack purchases as well. And we talked about this towards the beginning, but if you're flying into Cleveland, book your shuttle pass. It's going to be cheaper than any rideshare, by far. One $50 ticket to get you to and from the venue is going to be cheaper than one Uber one way. So, last but not least, well, not last but not least, but be social. This is a Splatoon land. I know a lot of people are probably intimidated a little bit or like nervous. People get anxious, and it's understandable. But this is, I don't want to say once in a lifetime opportunity, but like this is kind of an opportunity where you don't know if you will get again with the same group of people. You want to make the most of your experience by interacting and chatting with everybody who you know and who you don't know. I've met so many new people at LANs. I think the first time we talked to each other was at a LAN.
It was, yeah, because I think we were slated to comment. I don't remember. This was 2021.
So we because I knew a few people that you knew.
Yeah, I think you know, everyone has different circles that they kind of all mesh together at Riptide.
Yeah, and then we found out we went to the same elementary school together, so that was interesting. I was just a few years ahead of her, but that's fine. But yeah, mingle with people, mingle with everybody who you can, and it's going to be really rewarding. Don't be shy to go up to people and talk to them, even if you're like, this person, like, we're going to use Popgun as an example. He's not going to be there. But, like, if you're like, should I go up and say hi to Popgun? Yes, the answer is yes. Go up and say hi to everybody who you can, because they're going to appreciate it. Like, nobody's going to be put off by that.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? We're all there for the same reason, and that's to hang out with people who you know. And yes, thank you. Tell them your name, like Airsign said.
I was just about to say, like, it's a two-way street. Yeah. Like, hi, Falco. My name is Mizuno.
Right.
Nice to finally meet you.
Yeah, exactly. If you just go up and say, hi, Mizuno, like, you're going to stare at me and be like, hi.
Hi,
who are you? Especially if your badge just says spectator on it.
Oh, true.
But, like, yeah. But always, no matter what, even if your badge has your name, still introduce yourself, because the name on your badge might not be the same IGN you have or whatever. Mm-hmm. So, definitely be social, talk to people, annoy Doughboy because he's going to be running the stream. So yeah, I'm excited to meet you, by the way, Doughboy. Last but not least, if something is illegal for you to do, don't do it. Simply put, that's just going to leave it at that. If you are not of age to do something, then don't do it. And we will move on from there. So.
That's good.
Yeah. Let's talk about the teams who are actually playing at Riptide. You know, we talked about all the fun things that we can expect, but who the heck is playing? I'm going to pull up Start GG. I don't know if I'll try and show you guys this list too. We're going to kind of quickly go through this, because honestly, with like the LANs, it's a gathering with an event on the side. That's how I look at it. Like, you're there to meet people. The teams are always cool, and seeing who's going to be fun to watch.
Maybe you want to do this by pool, perhaps? Or, well, technically, pools are pools technically finalized? Or,
they're finalized enough, I guess. I don't even know how to get there.
If you go to Splatoon 3, and then say it'll say match is coming up. And then if you go to group stage,
okay.
And then you can click on that first pool.
Okay.
And then I can show you how to navigate to the next one in a second.
Okay. Okay. We're really just going to kind of highlight, I think that, I think we should just view this page, because we can see a majority of the teams who are here. And then we can look at another pool. Again, it's going to be a little hard to read. So these are kind of seated in their order of where they're projected to finish, by the way. So if you're looking at the first pool, yes, FT Win is going to be at Riptide. They're probably going to win the whole thing, but it is what it is. I'm impressed that they're going to be there. That's pretty cool.
Agreed.
I don't know who their roster is going to be. We can actually check that.
Well,
actually,
I was going to say, this view is probably best because you can quickly see the rosters.
Well, yeah, and the thing is, I don't want to click the details because Start GG it can dox people pretty easily.
Oh.
Remember? So I don't want to go into. I don't want to go too in depth.
Point.
Yeah, because it can show people's names if they don't hide it, and I don't want to.
No, you're right.
I don't want to do
Good
that
point.
to you guys.
Good point. I say stick with the teams.
Yeah.
If people want to dig into the rosters themselves, you can go onto StarGG and look up your registration on Riptide, and you can follow.
You guys can do it yourself, yeah. But what are the teams that you were looking out for? Did you make note of a few of them?
I created a couple of lists here, and again, this is also based on the roster stuff. So if the roster isn't apparent, you can, go check for yourself on the Riptide StarGG website. Do you still call StarGG Smash GG?
No, because I never played. I didn't really play Splatoon when it was Smash GG. I didn't really have much going on there.
Fair. No, I'm still like forcing myself to say Start GG. So if I say Smash GG,
we know what you mean.
You know what I mean.
Yeah.
All right. So obviously FT1 is playing. Hoorah. I think the other teams that I really want to watch out for, Ink Red Sun. Last year's run at Riptide kind of solidified their place as like, oh whoa, they're like really good. That's how they were able to get that, that sponsorship to become Ink Red Sun going forward, and they'll be participating here at Riptide this year as well. And considering how much of a fun show that they put on last year, making it really far, I believe they made it to. Did they make it to top 4 last year?
I think they did at Riptide.
Riptide, Riptide 2022.
Yes. Yeah, I think they did.
So that was like the big surprise. That was like true underdog story, and I feel like they're also kind of coming in here with somewhat of a similar situation because they still have that new, They have a lot of experience under their belt. I think they've won several different tournaments. I know they've won a series of Proving Grounds. They've done really well at SOS. So they have the experience now truly under their belt to fight some of the big dogs, like say Cup of Limeade, Last Light, Anchor Management, some of those bigger teams. So my number one lookout is probably Ink Red Sun, only because of the history that they have at Riptide, and being able to potentially have a repeat performance, I think is probably one of the most hyped things about last year that I'm really looking forward to in this year.
Mm-hmm.
We could take a look at Anchor Management if you want to hit that. There in Pool C2, there was the roster, the first few names I really liked. Power, Lux, Dre, and Setu. Holy moly.
Yeah, that's a lineup.
That's one heck of a lineup. That when I first saw that, I literally went, ooh, they're cooking.
Yeah.
So Anchor Management, also I really like that name too. So I really like that name a lot. So I'm actually really excited for Anchor Management. Mm-hmm. And there's also a couple of other teams here as well too. Sequoia did really well previously. They Roundy, Bronze, Bishop had really good performance. I think they made top 16 last year as well. And I'm curious how 8 will do as well. They're a very strong solidified mid-level team. That they could do well in in-person events. So I'm really excited to see these folks do well.
Mm-hmm. Another team I want to highlight now, and we have a Cup of Limeade. They're not Cherry Limeade, but they are a Cup of Limeade, just a cup, and that is because our good friend Lily will not be at Riptide this year, but instead they're going to have Mud Cup in Lily's place. So you're going to have Pika, Mud Cup, Crim, and Shiny. Again, this is always a top 16 team, and we love to see how far that they can go. Again, they are the number 1 seeded team in this group, so it's going to be interesting. Lily, we know as an amazing support player, and I am curious to see how Mud Cup will do and fare with the rest of the team.
Agreed. I think Mud Cup is a shout out to Mud Cup stepping in, so it's Cup of.
Yeah.
That's what I'm assuming.
Yeah.
That's cute.
That's cute. Who else is on your horizon?
All right.
Anyone else?
Sequoia. They also caught my eye as well. I mean, it's the same pool. I really like this C2 pool, if you guys can.
C2's juicy, yeah.
Yeah. And then Inked, Sequoia. I poked about those two there. Oh, that's right. They're in the same group. I'm sorry. You have to go back one page.
Oh, okay.
I forgot Sequoia was also in Anchor Management's group.
Yeah.
I think the only other one to talk about is Moonlight or Last Light. C1.
C1, yep.
C1. This is another, I'll talk about this in a second further, but Last Light is kind of like I'm assuming kind of a Moonlight pickup in a way. Arashi, Shadowin, Nolan, really good players with a lot of high level experience. They're going to rock this group. That's what I'm anticipating here, basically. So this is another name to watch.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be really good. And one more team to point out, too, I think it's going to be a pickup. It's Penciled. And this is going to have, wait for it to load. This is my group, and I have the pleasure of facing them first. Can't wait. But it's going to have Delta, Helix, Grape, Dylan, and then that's DNA Landon. So, again, this is another going to be a really strong team that is going to contend. I think really just looking at this group, I think the only one that could contend with them is Salt and Pepper to maybe get a game or two off of them, but I think they're going to just fare really well, and I think they could be a top 4 team if they really push for it. I think they could do a really good job. So,
agreed.
Yeah. Again, record number of teams who are participating. I don't know if it's
72.
72 teams, guys. 72 teams that will be at Riptide again, the largest LAN that we have yet. But we have one more topic to talk about, and we are going to bring on a lovely, lovely guest host for this segment. Let me make sure I have things ready, and we will hop in here. She is still deafened and muted, but that is okay. Luna, are you ready?
Hello.
We'll get her here soon. I'll do it before we go to her webcam, so we're not catching her off guard. We'll see.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, you're here.
I just realized
Hi.
I was watching on mobile, and I was like, oh, there's a delay. I can see the stream. They're definitely talking to me.
Hi. Luna, how's it going today?
It's going good. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, of course. How is the weather in Massachusetts?
Warm, and I'm mad about it.
Warm. And
I'm
you're
ready
mad.
for fall.
Yeah,
So ready for fall.
You already had your pumpkin spice stuff, didn't you?
I've had 2 pumpkin spice drinks. My nails have ghosts and pumpkins on them. I'm like entirely ready.
I'm ready too. Yeah, it's like 90 some here. But hey, we are happy you are here today because you are, well, number 1, you're going to Riptide. You'll be there. And number 2, you are the head of the Riptide Art Project. So what exactly is that?
So the Riptide Trading Card Project is a collaborative art event originally brought together by myself and my friend Starbit, and it was sort of meant to help bring the love for Splatoon art into the LAN community. There was a lot of talk back and forth with myself and Starbit last year, which was our last year hosting, on how to sort of do that. And we decided that a physical item that people could collect and trade was the best way to sort of highlight artists that are there and get people also talking to each other about Splatoon and about Splatoon art, because it sort of brings people to chatting together about various different things through the act of a single trading card.
Yeah, that's really cool. I know I got my cards last year. Actually, I have some from last year that I'm going to get.
I'm way ahead of you.
Yeah. So
Look.
oh, you have. Wait, are those all last year's or this year's?
These are the ones from. No, I do not have the ones from this year's in my possession, unfortunately.
I have those cards.
These are last year's trading cards.
Yeah. Okay. So
But yeah, so basic.
yeah, like show us the front and the back of a few of them.
Yeah, of course. So this is mine from last year. And what we're doing this year and also what we did last year is everybody is drawing art to a single theme. So last year the theme was the Neo Agent 3, the kind of face of Splatoon 3. And this year the theme is going to be all of the Splatoon 3 promotional characters. So all of those Veronica, Anemone number 1, Stephanie, all of those characters that we saw in the very beginning are the ones that each of our artists are going to be drawing this year. So all of the cards are going to have the piece of art on the front, and then on the back there will be a little bit of information about each artist as well as the weapon that they play, and at the bottom it will say there are 11 other trading cards at this event. Can you find us all? So there will be 11 artists total this year handing out different cards like these that you can collect.
Yeah, and let's go ahead and show you guys what that's going to look like here. So we have, these are the 11 artists that you want to be on the lookout for. Again, these cards that you can collect are really, really cool. They're good quality too, and they're fun. They're fun to hold, and they're fun to just kind of, you know, it's really cool because like everybody has a very unique art style too. So I always love seeing what people can come up with.
It's sort of kind of like collecting Pokemon cards in a way.
I was gonna say, and it's a great way to display some of like the memories that you made at Riptide. So I have like my posters, my badge, and then I have the cards hanging with the Riptide poster that I have, because it's a great way to kind of demonstrate, you know, like it creates a whole like Splatoon like memorabilia dedication place. It's really cool.
Yeah, we definitely wanted something that people could like pick up and take home as a memory. And we thought that that was a really great way to sort of create that memory for people while also having some sort of extra fun during Riptide itself.
Yeah, and definitely. And you said people can find you around in and around the venue. Just come up to you, ask for a card. That's all you have to do.
Yes, that's all you have to do. Each one of our artists, I'm sorry my webcam isn't the best quality, but this year we're all going to be wearing a small pin with little buddy on it that says Splatoon LAN Artist Community. We're all going to have this on our lanyard. So if you see anybody with this pin, it means that they are an artist participating in the event. So please feel free to go up to them, say hi, and just be like, do you have your card? Because we are used to that happening from everybody. So please don't be shy. Please come up to anybody you see wearing that badge to ask for a card.
I love that.
That is such a great idea because also it encourages people to come up to you guys, introduce yourself, and have that initial conversation and talk about the art too. Because I had some really good conversations last year with some of the fellow artists doing this awesome card project and talking about the art piece and the project itself. So I think that's a great way, Luna, of kind of showing like, hey, we're doing this. Here's who we are. That's so cool.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we definitely, last year we didn't have these buttons. It was our kind of trial year. We were sort of feeling everything out. And then this year we were like, we need to have some way for people to recognize us. So it sort of helps prompt people to be able to approach people easier instead of questioning like, is that one of the artists? Is that not one of the artists? Sort of thing.
Sometimes it can be hard, like, especially with masks on, if you don't know who's who. And if you've never seen that person, like in person or, whatever. But yeah, I think that pin is a very good addition. So if people are going, they're not going to Riptide, or maybe they are going this year, but they're like, hey, this art project is really cool. I want to get involved for the next LAN, next Riptide. How can they do that?
Yeah, of course. So we have a Twitter. It's Splat LAN Art, all one word. And from that Twitter, probably like this summer before Riptide, maybe a little bit earlier, we will start recruiting people and make a recruitment post for artists to be able to participate. So that's just sort of, unfortunately, right now only on Twitter. Will that be on other websites in the future? Who knows? But yeah, following that Twitter is definitely the best way to see what we're up to. In the future, too, it would also be really nice for us to be at future lands as well. Right now, Riptide is just the easiest one for us to be at, or at least myself or one of the other coordinators, because it is an in-person project. So unfortunately, that takes an extra, step to be able to carry out each year. But yeah, that's how you can keep in touch with us and what we're doing. And also via that link on Twitter is all of the previews for all of the art that's being on the trading cards this year. So if you click that link, you'll be able to see previews of everybody's artwork.
Super, super cool. Thank you for sharing. Before we let you go, this is your second Riptide. You went to the one last year.
Is.
What did you, like, I guess, how is playing at a LAN different than playing online?
Playing at a LAN is so scary. Like, I feel like every single emotion that you have, like, playing in comp is just super heightened when you're playing in person and you have, like, everybody around you and there's more people watching. But with it also being, like, kind of scary in person, it's just so fun. It's so fun to be able to, like, play your sets and have people cheering all around you. The crowd is screaming near you. And it just sort of is like a full immersive Splatoon experience.
Yeah, it really is. I think it's the energy that you can't match it from anything online, too. Whether you're playing or even spectating, I think too. Like, it's so exciting to watch Splatoon with other people, watch them like pop off on person, and I think too, hearing kind of their call outs and just hearing their energy when they play adds to that excitement and enjoyment.
It makes Splatoon feel very real, is maybe the other thing. Like, it feels just like a whole real full experience when you're there and, in person and not just sort of at your computer with your friends in VC.
Yeah, no, definitely, absolutely. So one last thing, what piece of advice could you give to somebody if they're going to a LAN for the first time? They might be a little nervous, intimidated, but I mean, you went to your first major LAN. I mean, you went to Shine 2022, a little smaller than Riptide, but still, you had a first LAN experience. So what advice could you give to somebody?
I think that you mentioned this a little bit earlier, but it's just to try your best to reach out to people and like not be shy and go up and introduce yourself and talk to them, because it's really, I think you mentioned it's like sort of a once in a lifetime experience, which I guess you can go year after year, but just in general, like being there in person with everybody around you, you're only going to have that experience with those exact same people that one time. So just trying to reach out and make connections in person, I think would be my number one piece of advice. And it's really nice too, because we're all there because we love Splatoon. So you already have like one thing that you can automatically talk about when you're wanting to go up and like speak to someone is we all love Splatoon.
Yeah. No, for real. It kind of breaks the ice that way too. Like, really opens the door to discussion of whatever you want to talk about. So,
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, I look forward to seeing you in a few days. I'm so excited.
So
It's going to be a lot
soon.
of fun. But yeah, thank you for joining us today on the Popcast, and we look forward to
course.
collecting all of the art.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll let you go.
Thank you
and,
so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right. Bye. Bye, stream. Bye bye.
Bye.
All right, guys. That was it. That was today's episode of the Popcast. So thank you all very much for tuning in today. Again, a special. It feels like a special edition, even though it's still a Monday. But it's the Labor Day off-hour time because it's a holiday and there's a lot going on. But yes, that is going to be it for now. So thank you all tuning into the podcast today. Make sure you guys watch the Nintendo broadcast at 6 o'clock, and make sure that you follow, like, and subscribe Mr. Popgun on all of his socials there that are scrolling below. Again, my name is Falco Flyer. You can find me at FalcoFlyer11 on Twitter and FalcoFlyer on Twitch. And Mizuno, where can we find you?
You folks can find me on Twitter at Twitch, MIZU_N0. And that'll just about do it for episode number, oh gosh, this is like 190 something.
194.
194. Holy moly.
194. The Popcast will be live again next Monday for a Riptide recap. I will not be hosting it. I will still be driving home from Sandusky at that time. But thank you all for joining us today. We appreciate it, and we hope you have a fantastic Labor Day weekend. Bye.